Hey house guests, welcome to today's Celebrity Big Brother updates and spoilers. Here are our house guests of the day. Thank you guys so much for your support. You're super awesome. Hope you're enjoying this season so far. It's been a freaking wild ride already. So the house guests spent a lot of time yesterday just waiting around for the power of veto. They know that today is an eviction day, so they were assuming that they were going to have the power of veto competition yesterday, but they didn't. We'll come back to that. So Ross, Marissa, and Mark were in the landmark bedroom, and Ross was like, all right, we need to talk about this. What do we do if Keisha or Omarosa win the veto? Are we going to put up Meta? And then he's like, but then there's the race thing. And he whispered that. He was like, the race thing. And Mark was like, wait, what? And Ross was like, it wouldn't look good. He already put up Keisha and Omarosa. If he puts up Meta too, it's just not good. So Mark was like, well, you guys can put me up if you want. Wrong answer, Mark. He just does not care. I don't think Mark's in any danger at this point, but like, you should never volunteer to be a pawn. It's bad. So Mark is saying, like, I'm late to this group, so if you need a pawn, I'm down to clown. So then Ross starts planting seeds for a possible Shannon backdoor this week. I thought he was going to keep this under wraps, not run around telling everybody, including Mark McGrath. So Ross is like, yeah, we're just playing Shannon's game so far. That's not cool. We need to play for ourselves. So Mark agrees. He's like, yeah, she's a strong competitor. She's great at competitions. So Ross is like, do you think we should strike at her? And Mark is like, yeah, it's probably easier to take her out now. You know, at first he was like, is it too early? But then he was like, when are we going to have this chance again? It's going to be more and more difficult as we have less people. So Mark is like, yeah, let's do it. I'll go talk to James. And Ross and Marissa are like, no, don't talk to James. Yeah, because James is supposed to be in this 4-person alliance with Ross, Marissa, and Shannon. So if James finds out that 2 people from that group are trying to take out Shannon, that's not going to be good. So they're like, no, don't tell him. What? We need to keep it a secret for now. So Mark is like, all right, I promise I won't tell. And then all this, I was going to say all week, but this week has only been like a few days. Since the last eviction, they've all been like, oh my God, just thinking about this plan is going to give me diarrhea. So the line of the day was when Mark was like, there's going to be lots of diarrhea moving forward. No! Okay, moving on, because I'm going to throw up. Keisha and Omarosa had a quick chat in the green bedroom. Keisha thinks that they're going to keep being targeted until both of them are gone. I don't think so, because I feel like usually when people want to try to split up a power duo like that, they'll like get rid of one, and then the other one just kind of like floats along for a while because they're not really seen as a threat anymore. But Omarosa thinks that there's a chance that both of them could stay this week. She's like, I don't know. I think there might be some sort of backdoor plan in the works. So one of us really needs to win the power of veto. So she's telling Keisha, pay attention to the subtle shade they've been throwing at Shannon and Meta. It's probably one of those 2. Yes. Okay, so then Keisha's like, oh, really? Like, it would be really smart for them to take out Shannon, but are they actually going to do it? That's a pretty big move. It is a big move. So, I don't know. The house guests were still waiting around for the power veto. Eventually, Big Brother told them, like, hey, Dad's not coming to pick you up. No. Big Brother told them, that's so sad, that the power veto competition is going to be played on the live episode tonight. But they also said, like, we're going to be picking players soon, so, like, be ready. Nope. They were still just waiting on that curb for Dad to come. So anyway, James, Mark, and Marissa had a little strategy chat in the landmark bedroom. Now, I just want to give you guys some context here. Set the scene. Keep in mind, James does not know about the potential backdoor Shannon plan, but Mark does. And Mark does not know that James has the Final 4 deal with Marissa, Ross, and Shannon. So, like, there's a lot of undercurrents here. Marissa, she's the one in the room that knows everything. So she was probably like, the whole time. So James, since the last eviction, has been pushing and continues to push for Keisha to go this week because he knows that she's after him And I think she made some comments at the beginning of this eviction week that she is still coming after him. So he's like, yeah, I think that Keisha should go. And Mark agrees. They argue Keisha's stronger than Omarosa. She's better in competitions. They don't even know if Omarosa's going to be able to compete in a lot of the physical ones now because of her asthma. So James is like, yeah, taking out Omarosa would be an emotional move. It's not the best decision for us. And also, like, who's actually going to trust Omarosa moving forward? You know, he can already see that Keisha's going to be able to work her way back in with people again because they like her. So, you know, it's dangerous to keep her around. So then Marissa's like, okay, I hear you, and now I'm going to leave and go do my makeup. So she does that. Ross and Shannon come in. And again, James makes his argument for why he thinks that Keisha should go. And then Shannon piggybacks on that. She's like, yeah. And if you think about it, like, nobody's going to vote for Omarosa to win in the end. So if any of us go to the final two with her, we got this money in the bank. So Ross is like, yeah, I want Omarosa out, though. Because he feels like she is coming after him. So what's their names? Joshua, no. James, I'm sorry, I only wrote the letters down. James, Shannon, and Mark are all like, that's an emotional move. No, it's smarter to take out Keisha. And Ross did not like that. You can tell he's getting pissed about this. So they all agree they're going to discuss this more later with Brandy and Ari so they can have the full group, you know, giving their input. So then a few minutes later, there was a very interesting conversation between Ross and Keisha in the kitchen. Keisha can see that Ross is, like, pacing around. He's freaking out. He's got all this anxiety. So she's telling him, like, stop stressing. Just know whatever decision you make, I'm fine with it. It's going to be okay. It's just a game. So Ross is like, I just feel so bad. I feel like I had no choice this week because the lines were just, they were drawn after that flip. So then he's saying, however, there is potentially another option. So Keisha's like, do you have the other votes to carry out? Do you have the votes to carry out the other option? She's saying, if it's the option I'm thinking of, meaning Shannon, you only get one shot. So don't blow it. And Ross is just like, I hope you win the veto. you can hear, like, the desperation in his voice. So Keisha tells him, like, don't be afraid. It's going to be okay. And Ross is like, if that option happens, meaning backdooring Shannon, could we possibly work together again? And Keisha's like, yes. Who else is she going to work with? It's like a whole house alliance, seriously. So anyway, I think that was good for Ross to hear because that is one of his concerns, like what's going to happen with Keisha and Omarosa if they both stay this week. So Ross then updates Brandy on the state of the house. They were talking in the speakeasy lounge. I obviously do not speak easy. And he's telling Brandy the other people in their group, Shannon, Mark, and James, all want Keisha to go. You know, she's stronger, blah, 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 blah. It's the same stuff that I mentioned before. So Ross is like, they're not wrong. Keisha is a really strong competitor, but he doesn't like that Shannon is trying to get Omarosa to stay because he feels like she still probably has that final two deal with her, and it's shady, and he doesn't like it. So he's like, we need to come up with a better argument for why Omarosa should go this week and present that to the group. So Brandy's like, well, I'll tell you this. I don't like that Omarosa keeps bringing race into this game. She's like, do you really want that to be your story here? Do you want that associated with your name in the media? So he's like, yeah, that's a really good point. You should definitely bring that up. So then Ross is saying it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for them to get rid of Keisha this week because she is a big threat. But obviously he still would prefer for Omarosa to go first. So a lot is really riding on this power of veto. Even just the picking the players for the veto, Ross really is hoping he's not going to get house guest choice because James and Shannon are expecting him to pick one of them if he does because they're supposed to be in this alliance together. But he doesn't want to give them a chance to win, especially since they're good competitors, when he wants, like, Keisha or Omarosa to win. So it's really tricky. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But then it was time for a real meeting of the minds in the landmark bedroom. You got Ross, Brandy, Ari, Shannon, James, and Mark. So almost the whole house. Marissa was in the DR, and of course Meta, Keisha, and Omarosa were left out of this. So James, again, is like, who's going to be a bigger threat moving forward? We need to leave the past in the past. We need to leave our emotions out of this. Do what I want. So Brandy presents her argument. She's like, I want Omarosa out because she is reckless with the race card. She brings up how Omarosa called her alliance like the white girl alliance. So James is like, that's an emotional thing. That's not part of the game. So then James is also saying, from a PR perspective, Mr. PR here, it's going to look bad if we vote out somebody who just came back from the hospital. I don't know. So then James also brings up that Keisha is already getting back in good... She's getting in good with people. What am I saying? She's getting in good with people again, and that is concerning. You know, she's that good. Omarosa, nobody's going to trust her. So, you know, after a little bit more back and forth, eventually Brandy's like, all right, I will go with what the group wants, but just know that I'm concerned, and you people better freaking have my back if this thing goes tease up. So then they agree, the whole group, that Keisha, Omarosa, and Meta are the next 3 out anyway, so the order doesn't really matter, except they are, you know, still arguing about the order, so obviously it does matter. But then, you know, they pretty much break the conversation up. Alright, so James is like, as they're, you know, splitting up, can I just say that this eviction is so much better than the last one? And they're all laughing, and then Shannon's like, watch out, James, we can still backdoor you this week. They can backdoor you too, Shannon. It doesn't seem like she suspects it at all. Alright, so then the rest of last night, Ross is just saying, like, I don't know what to do. He's nervous that he's going to be next if he does take out Shannon, because he's like, holy crap, what is James going to do? How's he going to react? Is he going to come after me? Would Keisha actually work with us? You know, he's concerned. Also, if you take out Shannon, who's like one of the biggest targets in the house, a new target is going to have to emerge, and Ross is going to be looking pretty strong. So then he was also even considering picking Shannon to play if he gets house guest choice, because then he'll at least be giving her a chance to play for the veto, but like there's probably a good chance she's going to win. Oh man. All right. So they didn't end up picking the POV players last night. I don't know what the deal was with that, but whatevs. So then this morning, oh, this is so sad. Brandy and Keisha were having a strategy chat in the bathroom, and Keisha is like, I'm going to be real with you right now. I think that Shannon has to go. She's the mastermind. We're all playing her game right now. She's got to go. But then Keisha says, it's also time for me to go home. My baby needs me. She heard that, like, her baby needs more milk or whatever, and like her breast pump broke, and she feels like she needs to go home to her baby. And she says, if I help you guys get rid of Shannon this go around, I need you to promise me that I will go home next. Keisha, world peace! Oh my god, this is gonna become the season of everyone freaking bargaining for their eviction order. Like, I want to go next. No, I want to go next. So, yeah, Brandy's like, I mean, if that's what you want, I'll see what I can do. Yeah, anyway, today, other than that, there's been a lot more debate about who should go, Keisha or Omarosa, and it's pretty much boiled down to Brandy versus Shannon and James. You know, Brandy is arguing for Keisha to stay, Shannon and James are arguing for Omarosa to stay, and it's just like the same arguments over and over again. They're not really convincing each other of anything. So, yeah, the eviction is tonight. It's all going to come down to this power of veto. If Keisha wins, I do think that Ross will go for it and put up Shannon. If Omarosa wins, I don't know if he's going to take that shot, because he might be worried that people are going to vote to evict Keisha instead of Shannon. So if he's going to go for the shot, he's got to make sure he executes this plan. You know what I mean? So I think a potential pawn would definitely be Mark. Everybody in the group agreed that he would be safe if he went up. So I don't know what's gonna happen. And if like somebody other than one of the nominees wins, I don't know if they're gonna do it. I don't know, but it's gonna be really exciting. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until tomorrow, much love.